No,
Oh, we got some activity.
go find where I'm already set up over here. Live on Facebook.
See, it's a process.
It is a process. One that I am very grateful to have the energy for today.
Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing and spreading your energy with myself and those that are going to be participating or engaging in this conversation today.
Yes, episode 19 of a party. Woo woo! Party at the summit.
We have liftoff.
Let's go.
Top of the summit. Well, it's been actually 2 weeks since we've connected and we've been able to share some of our thoughts, the values that we are choosing to disperse in our community, in our world, in our environment, in our world that we live in here. And we're going to get into this, I'm sure, Gail, but you're starting to feel finally better from a little bit of a sickness that you've had.
Yeah, it's been almost 3 weeks. And COVID's been around now for a year and a half that we know of. And so finally 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, I just said, I'm going to go get one of those little tests, because someone who wanted to know, and both Steve and I came back testing positive for COVID-19. And, we set out on our journey the next day in Flow. I'm coming to you live from Flow today in Surprise, Arizona. It seems like a total blur. Like the last 10 days is a blur. And I remember feeling okay when we took off. And then last Thursday came around and it was Wednesday. I said, Steve, I can't, I have no energy. This bug is for real. And all I can say, and I did a live earlier today, is I'm so thankful that I took care of myself over the last few years to be in a position to be able to fight the great fight and come out a winner on top. And, I believe I still have a ways to go, because I just know, my body will tell me when each day, like I walked a quarter mile. There were days I couldn't even get out of bed. And so now today I just walked 3/4 of a mile, and it just feels great to feel that comeback coming and the energy flowing. And for all those of you out there that have battled with this, let me just share my empathy with you. It all affects us all differently, and not everybody is a winner at the end of this game. And there's been people close in my life. My son-in-law's mom passed away with COVID. And that put a big scare in my children, and I'm just glad to be where I'm at today and getting back to what normal feels like. And this podcast coming live right now with you, Steve, it feels a little bit normal. And I guess we all could use some normal in our life.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I know it's been an emotional experience for you and for Steve-O. But when you say normal, we've been talking about what normalcy means to us since the beginning of 2020, since the pandemic hit. And I feel that when people are seeking for the normal, I use air quotes here, normal, they're waiting for the environment to change so that they can start sensing a bit of normalcy. And I think what I've just heard, and what I just had the chance to observe through your monologue here, is that your normalcy is a choice. It's a choice to believe what you feel is true. And today we're going to be talking about beliefs. And I'm excited you're here. And, again, sharing your energy and just being the flower that you are, attracting the people. You are in flow, freedom, love, and opportunity. So let's get at that, and let's talk about beliefs. And it's something that many people consider, but for many other people, it's under the radar. It's so automatic. We don't even realize that our beliefs are driving our life. And you get out of life that in which you believe you're worth. And that's one of the hardest things for people to accept. And you've heard me say this before, Gail, but one of the hardest things for people to accept is that the life that they're living, this one right now, and we're all living a different experience, it's the one that we feel that we're worth. It's the one we feel that we deserve. And it comes down to, which we'll discuss here today, it comes down to our beliefs, our belief system that we hold true to be about ourselves. Because one of the most powerful forces in the world is the congruency and consistency of the thoughts, beliefs, and ideals, concepts that we hold to be true about ourselves. So how would you define beliefs, Gail? If you've put any thought into, like, how would you define what a belief is?
Well,
And this isn't scripted. We're just having an open conversation here. So I'm curious.
I wrote down the question. Well, basically, I wrote down the statement. You get out of life what you believe you're worth. And I wrote down, I asked myself the question, what do I believe I'm worth? Like, I just kind of reflected on the life that I'm living right now. And I allowed words to come to express what I believe is how I live. And the words that came to me were abundance, adventure, love, health, fitness, great friendships, happy marriage, fun, comfort, joy, and peace. And I believe that words are so powerful. And the fact that those words were the words that just came to my forefront, because there are times, Steve, when I dip back into other beliefs, like of worthiness, like am I worthy to be gone for 5 months in this beautiful life and living in my motorhome in this beautiful lot in this gorgeous sunny Arizona? And I say to myself, yes, because I'm living it. I'm living the adventure. I'm living the abundance. Steve and I have chosen through our life to be where we are right now. So who am I to question the worthiness of believing I should be here? So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what I was thinking about this morning.
Yeah. And there is no right or wrong, when it comes to, what beliefs are. As a matter of fact, what meaning do you put behind it? And nothing in life has any meaning other than the meaning that you give it. So I want to take a different approach, and I want people to understand, like, when you're watching this, I think there's a lot of confusion still with belief systems and, why are they in the place that they're in? I feel people are, and I'm going to use this word loosely, they're trapped. They're trapped in their beliefs. And some people are going to give me probably some pushback from that. And they're going to be like, well, no, that's not me. I'm not trapped in my beliefs. Well, let me challenge you in saying this or asking this. If you're not in a place that you want to be in your health, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your finances, whatever that is, then yes, you are trapped in your beliefs. And I'll keep it really simple. I feel beliefs are simply a function of thinking, which are your thoughts. And what are thoughts? Thoughts are simply the construct of the mind. So why is it that two people can experience the same exact situation, the same circumstance, the same event, and there's two different beliefs behind that event, situation, or circumstance. It's because we have a choice to put meaning behind whatever that situation is. Albert Einstein had said something, and I believe also belief is imagination. It's like it's imagining and thinking, if you choose to live a better quality life, it's about already being that quality of life by the beliefs that you hold true to be about yourself. And he said that your imagination is your preview of your life's coming attractions.
Oh, I like that.
And Albert Einstein said that. So your life's coming attractions are based upon what your beliefs are, or as what I believe to be are your thinking and thoughts. And if your thoughts are simply the construct of your mind, then you can choose what thoughts you want to put behind the beliefs that you hold to be true. Now, we also talked about in the past the logical level. And there's a sense of identity involved with that because your beliefs are going to precede what your identity is, what your self-image is, what you hold to be true about yourself. So with that, let's go over a couple things. And as I'm getting prepared for this conversation, we've all been through a lot. We've all been in our lifetime, we've been through situations and we've built and we've learned these belief systems around it. When I was 13, my parents had gotten divorced. And it was probably one of the hardest things I had to endure as an early onset teenager, which really sculpted who I became in the teenage years. And it wasn't a great version of myself. What was my belief on that? My belief is that divorce could be very destructive. It's painful. It hurts. And I wasn't even the one going through it. I was just the byproduct of the divorce. So for those that are listening, let's use that as an example. What do you believe about divorce? Some people might feel it's liberating. There's a belief that behind that it's freedom. It's opportunity. And I use that not from a place of being insensitive, but just that's the reality. What do you believe about money? And it could be anything. Like it could be pro, could be con, whatever meaning you put behind that, that's a belief. How about the economy? What do you believe about the economy? What do you believe about politics? What do you believe about Joe Biden? What do you believe about Donald Trump? I'm not here to debate it. I'm just saying there are two sides of belief, if not multiple sides of belief. What do you believe about coronavirus?
Mm-hmm. What do you believe about being vaccinated or unvaccinated? That's a big topic. And it's interesting. I had a couple people show up in some of my news feeds, and it's interesting how people come to the support and other people come to judgment.
Opinionate. Yep.
And, on my live I did this morning, I said, there is no room for judgment. We are all capable human beings to create and formulate the beliefs in our thought patterns to do what we feel is best for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no judgment there.
What do you hold true as a belief to your health? What's your relationship with your health? And I'm asking anybody that's listening, I trust that we're gonna have some people listening asking themselves these questions. What is your belief about XYZ? But what's important to notice here, and I want you to reflect on, is that as I ask these questions, you automatically went to a thought that had reinforced and supported what your belief is on a specific or particular topic. That thought comes from your belief. So if you want to know what your belief is, It's actually rather simple. You can almost go back to the logical level and look at your environment. Your environment will tell you what your belief is about relationship, about your finances, about politics. Where's your attention at primarily? Because you are where your attention is, and your attention is going to be focused on what your belief is subconsciously. We're not going to be able to solve all the answers here, Gail, but at least we can start bringing awareness to what beliefs people are holding true about their life circumstances. So when I say that you get out of life that in which you believe you are worth, ask yourself, what do you believe? Or more importantly, what does that mean to you? Or what does it mean about you? Beliefs drive your life. If you have a belief that is counterproductive, I'm going to use that word very intentionally, counterproductive belief, because it's preventing you, it's limiting you from getting to whatever your vision is or whatever your goal is. Ask yourself this question. What are you gaining by holding on to this belief? A thought that you've either learned or you've been indoctrinated with from childhood. You could have built a belief deep inside you. You've embedded a belief that you're not worthy of XYZ, or you don't deserve to have great health or great relationships because one kid in school back in second grade had said, you know what, Steve, you're a dork. And that just sat with me for 30 years. And what you built was you built evidence around your belief to support that you have this, air quote again, dorkiness quality to you. Whatever it is, I'm just using an example. What do you gain from holding on to this belief? Now, most people, when I ask this question, are going to say, what, Gail? What do you think is the most common response when I ask them, hey, what are you gaining? Or what do you have to gain by holding on to this belief that is counterproductive in your life?
Nothing.
That's the most common response, but that's incorrect. It's not nothing. You know what you're gaining? You're gaining security and safety and comfort by holding on to that belief, because that belief, again, supports what your identity is. So if you know that now and you have more awareness and mindfulness of the fact that the reason why you have such a challenging time shedding the belief that you know is not serving you is because it provides safety. It provides comfort. It's a security knowing that your future is predictable, even as painful as it is. But what if you shifted that belief and you went from I can't do it to I can do it, I will do it? Sure, it's uncomfortable, but there is abundance on the other side. There's growth, there's development, there is success, there's result in the shift and modification of that belief, the expansion and evolution of that thought consistently. Pick your pain. So there's always something to gain by holding or releasing a belief. But most people don't look at it that way. They look at, there's just nothing to gain, so no harm, no foul. Incorrect. I don't know anybody that has actually produced growth or a level of success or greater health or elevated abundance by staying safe, staying in a comfort because of the belief that's been holding them back. It's almost like, it's like a pair of glasses. If you're wearing eyeglasses, now let's not make a spectacle of this.
Okay.
You don't realize, because when you have those glasses on, you don't even realize you have the glasses on. But these glasses create a filter of your life, of your world. And it is subconscious. It's automatic. It's a lens. We see this lens of our life, of our world, through the lenses of our glasses, which are our beliefs and thoughts that we carry with us most of the time. So that's what I want people to consider. Your imagination is simply the preview of your life's coming attractions. How vivid do you want to choose to be imaginative? What does the best quality of your life look like, feel like, and who do you have to choose to be to obtain that? So, some thoughts on belief.
Powerful.
What's your belief now, Gail, of coronavirus versus 3 weeks ago?
Ooh. Well, I believe it's real. I think until you experience some things in life, you don't, you know about it, but you don't understand it until you go through it. And I understand now the emotional side as well as the physical side of what this produces. And it's given, like I mentioned earlier, it's given me empathy for people who feel trapped in the symptoms of what takes over your body. And there's a fight there. It's fight or flight. And over the last 10 days I've flighted. I just laid there, and I've also fought to get back to where I desire to be. So my belief about it is we can get through it. My belief about it is there are people out there that will help us get through it. And I've put a lot of faith and trust in others when I didn't have it for myself.
Mm.
So,
So you've altered the meaning behind it, because I don't ever believe that you didn't think it was a real thing. I don't think anybody's out there saying, hey, COVID-19 is not a real thing. It's certainly real, and it impacts and affects people differently. I guess maybe it's the meaning in which you're putting behind the event or the virus or the circumstance that has shifted.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's always been real, but I just felt like I might be immune to it maybe because I'd taken such great care of myself. I was a healthiest version of myself that I'd known in my lifetime. So I thought maybe I was immune to it.
Could the results have been different? Could we have possibly not been sitting here having this interaction and conversation if you were living the quality of life you were 3 years ago? Meaning you still would have some pretty significant symptoms.
Yes. Perhaps a hospital would have been involved. I'm grateful that I didn't have to do that, but there were times when I was taking my oxygen levels and it was 80, 81, 82, and it wasn't coming up. And just that knowledge created some fear in my thoughts because I knew that wasn't good. I knew that those levels were bad. Even though I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to be in a hospital. I was aware that I could be. And so, yeah, 60 pounds, 60 additional pounds of fat and adipose tissue and things on my body that didn't serve me well back then. I could only just imagine that it would have put me in a different position and feeling and ability to fight to where I am today. So I've been real grateful to myself for who I chose to become.
Grateful as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as we wrap up our conversation today, I always like to leave at least a transformational takeaway, something that you can sit with and, possibly take a note on. And I'm going to go back to, what are you putting meaning to? Nothing in life has any meaning other than the meaning that you give it. And then one last thing I would say is, take a look at the landscape of your life. Pick something, identify something in your life that maybe you're unhappy with or you're unsatisfied with. Ask yourself, what belief caused you to be in this position? What caused this to happen? What does this say about you? What does it say about what you believe? And then from there, you can work into a place or work through and say, I'm going to choose to be vulnerable and a bit more uncomfortable by shifting my thoughts in this, because it's brain-based. It oftentimes is habitual. And beliefs or thoughts are constructs of the mind. And you have the power to change that. So I will leave it at that. What a great Thursday, Gail.
What a great Thursday. Great to be back.
Yes, stronger and healthier than I've seen you in a couple of weeks. We are rejuvenated. We are partying at the summit. And if you're ready to go, Gail, say let's go, and let's make today one worth repeating.
Let's go, Steve.
Yeah, let's go.
We're out.